Welcome back, YouTubers. This is a review of Figma 381 Scathach from Fate Grand Order video game for mobile as well as the new arcade game. Now, she, like all the other characters that have come out of the Fate Stay Night franchise, is a pretty interesting character, though she actually has very little in the way of actual mythology behind her. She's mentioned in the Ulster cycle as being the person who taught Cuchulainn how to fight in the Land of Shadows, and that she is some sort of guardian of that world, which I am not absolutely sure on my facts on this, but maybe some sort of underworld or such, but it's pretty hard for me to be sure on this, as I am not an expert in mythology. If anyone knows more than me, or if I've got something wrong, please let me know. It's good to know these things. But as you can see, they've changed the box design a little bit from some of the more recent ones we've gotten. For example, this is the Nero box that I got a little while back. This is the Scathach box. It's a lot smaller. They've reduced the front area of it, which actually is probably a good thing, because these boxes have a lot of dead space in them. But as you can see, it's the same format as the other ones. Same on the sides, same on the top and bottom as they normally are. So without further ado, let's get this thing opened. So, they've got this part tucked into the back here. It's got the usual hands, the extra wrist mount, and the stand connecting parts. It's got 8 hands, so good 10 total. And of course, the usual plastic bag and instructions they send. They packaged it a little differently than the older ones, but still pretty much the same. Now, one thing I do like that they've done is, unlike previous Figmas, they have separated the grips. You see, most of the time when you have a weapon or part that goes into the hand that has too long a top or bottom to slide it neatly into the hand, what they do is they'll leave it intact. But this one, they packaged them separately, so you can clearly see that the parts don't stay together. They are separatable, which I like. This is one of the 2 gay bulg spears. This one is the one specific to Scathach, but I'm not sure if it is in fact also the gay bulg that Cuchulainn uses, and just a different design of it. But she also comes with a second one which looks exactly like the gay bulg that Cuchulainn uses, because I have that Figma as well, and these two are identical. As you can see, same length, and they are the exact same design. So I'm not sure if the other spear with the more flowery tip is in fact gay bulg, but it's one of the 2 spears that she fights with. She mainly fights with this one, and then during her Noble Phantasm throws both of these, spearing it with first one then the other. So I am not entirely sure on that. But I do like that they included both. I was unsure if we were going to get 2 copies of the spear, or just the one spear. Anyway, now she's got a lot of little plastic wrap around her ankles and such. Probably means there's good posability in those parts. Or they just wanted to keep the paint from accidentally running. That's always something I'm concerned about, is paint transfer with these things can happen. And when it does, the best thing is very, very fine sandpaper, like the stuff you'd use for a car. Just get it slightly on there, and you can usually just edge it off just ever so. Okay, sorry that took a second. The headpiece had a lot of it inside of the peg hole. But there we have Scathach. Now with her hair on. So let's see. Good posability, ankle joints, pretty cool. Posable hair. Pretty good. Shoulder pads seem to be pretty solid on there. Overall, I think this is a pretty nice figure. It comes with only 2 additional faces, one with her opening her mouth, and one with her having it a bit more of a smile with her teeth showing. Overall, pretty good parts. Now, let me just check the instructions. Yep, that's pretty much it. Other than just showing a diagram of how to put the spears together, that's about it. And one of the nice things is, more recently, a lot of them have been printed in English, because more and more people are importing these overseas. So I'm not surprised to see more English. I've also seen a lot of things about there being more DVDs in Japan with the English audio tracks, as well as other things such as that. So it's encouraging to see, because that means that it's becoming easier to access this kind of material. The problem with most anime imports like these is that because you have to buy either the American version or direct from Japan, costs go up. Anyway. Anyway, just move all this debris out of the way. Yeah. Now, one thing I should mention is, in the Fate Grand Order video game, Scathach is not easily obtainable. She is only available when they are doing a special banner, which is just a way for them to try and milk you for more money. If you're after getting Scathach in the game, your best bet is to do so next year when they do a variant of her where she's in a swimsuit during the beach event that they do every year. This was the first one, as the game has only started recently in the United States. But in the Japanese one, they have done several beach events, as I like to term them. And in each one, Scathach or one of the other servants will have an exclusive, only available during that event design. They also came out with a version of her that is a caster, where she does not have Gabolg, but instead a wand, which does feed into what I know of the myth, as she was also taught Cuchulainn magic, which is another thing that you don't see as much. He is a mage in the sense that he can use rune magic. That's more in his caster persona for Cuchulainn. But Scathach also is the one who taught him that, so yeah. Anyway, so now that she's got both her spears in hand, just plug the stand into her back. Actually, in this case, I would not use this little curved stand part. It is actually slightly too big for. the hole that is in the back of Scathach's back. The one that is on the stand is actually better, so you can skip using that, just as a tip for anyone who is planning to use this. But yeah, there we have Scathach. And she is an excellent figure. I highly recommend purchasing this to anyone who is a fan of either Fate Grand Order, Fate Stay Night, or just of cool characters like this. She'll also be in the upcoming Fate Extella, I believe it's pronounced Lynx, which is coming out in the US this winter. She's already out in the Japanese version, and she's a pretty cool character from what I've seen of the game. I haven't had a chance to play it because I just haven't had the money to import something like that from Japan, because video games are way more expensive than the figures sometimes. Anyway, but that's the figure. Definitely something I would get. And she will look perfect next to my other Lancer, her student, Cucullin. Of course, I wonder what would happen if both of them were summoned at the same time in some way, whether it's one of the Battle Royale ones from Fate Apocrypha, or one of the ones where he is a different type of servant, like, say, a Berserker, where he still has Gay Bulk. Though his version in Berserker form has a lot more spikes on it. But either way, maybe at some point we will know. But please like, subscribe, comment below, share this video with your friends, and follow me on Twitter. And I'll see you all next time. Ciao!